Have you ever wondered what it takes to change history? It often starts with one person's faith. Let's talk about a man whose life did just that, Abraham. His story isn't just an ancient tale. It's a blueprint for a life of faith that still speaks to us today. Abraham wasn't born into a perfect family. He came from a place called Ur of the Chaldees, a city full of idol worship. The Bible even says his ancestors served other gods. Yet, from this very culture, God called him out. It shows us that faith often begins with a call to leave our old ways behind. God didn't choose Abraham because he was flawless, but because he was willing to listen and believe. Then came the big command: get out of your country, from your family and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. Imagine that. God asks him to leave everything familiar for a destination he hasn't even revealed yet. This is the essence of obeying God without having all the answers. But with the command came an incredible promise. God would make Abraham a great nation, make his name great, and through him, all the families of the earth would be blessed. This promise ultimately points to Jesus Christ. And what did Abraham do? He obeyed. He packed up and went, demonstrating that true faith always leads to action. Of course, the journey wasn't easy. Soon after arriving in the promised land, the famine hit. It's a common pattern. Our faith is often tested right after we take a step of obedience. Later, conflict arose between his herdsmen and those of his nephew, Lot. Instead of fighting for the best land, Abraham chose peace and let Lot choose first. He valued relationships over possessions, trusting God to provide. Through these trials, God repeatedly reaffirmed his promise, teaching Abraham that faith grows when we learn to trust God's timing, not our own. He even faced a battle against powerful kings and trusted God for victory, later meeting the mysterious priest Melchizedek, who serves as a picture of Christ's eternal priesthood. One of the most powerful moments is when God formalizes his covenant. Abraham is old, childless, and yet God promises him a son and descendants as numerous as the stars. And the scripture says, and he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. This is a cornerstone of our faith. Salvation has always been by believing God, not by our own works. To seal this covenant, God alone passed between the pieces of a sacrifice, showing that the promise depended entirely on his faithfulness. Later, God changed their names from Abram to Abraham and Sarai to Sarah, transforming their identities even before the promise was fulfilled. But let's be real, Abraham wasn't perfect. He had his failures. Growing impatient, he and Sarah tried to fulfill God's promise their own way through Hagar, leading to the birth of Ishmael and generations of conflict. God still showed mercy, but their actions had lasting consequences. At another point, out of fear, Abraham lied about Sarah being his sister. It's a reminder that even great men and women of faith can stumble. The amazing part is that even when Abraham failed, God remained faithful to his promise. Finally, at the ages of 190, Abraham and Sarah had their son Isaac. God always keeps his promises, right on time. But the tests weren't over. God gave Abraham the ultimate test of faith. Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and offer him as a burnt offering. Can you imagine? Yet Abraham obeyed, trusting that God could even raise Isaac from the dead. At the very last moment, God provided a ram for the sacrifice, revealing himself as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. The New Testament calls Abraham the father of all who believe for this very reason. So what can we learn from his incredible life? First, faith obeys God's voice, even when it doesn't make sense. Second, faith learns to wait on God's timing. Third, faith trusts God completely, even with what is most precious to us. And finally, our faith, our belief in God's promises is what makes us right with him. It's about looking to his promise, not our circumstances. Abraham's story challenges us to ask ourselves, are we willing to believe God and follow where he leads? Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like and subscribe for more.